Saturday night, Glenn Gulutzan was running the Calgary Flames bench as they were at home to the Vegas Golden Knights, while Todd McLellan was a 3-hour drive down the road working the bench for the Edmonton Oilers as they took on the Vancouver Canucks. The two respective teams and their coaches putting a wrap on their season. Bright and early Sunday morning, they were on a plane and headed to Saskatoon. The two coaches had spoken prior to their final games of the season and had both decided that they wanted to come to this city in order to spend some time with the victims of the Humboldt bus crash. Not only the victims, that being the young players, but as well their families and billet families. And that's what they had to do, as eventually by the time their day was over at the Royal University Hospital, Glenn Gulutzan and Todd McLellan had spent 2 or 3 hours with everyone that they wanted to see.
We felt it was very important for us to come here and show our support, represent our teams and our communities, and spend some time with the players. And it's been a very rewarding thing for me as an individual, probably for Glenn as well, to spend the time and see some players smile.
I think it's therapeutic for us, but it's certainly, hopefully it was for them too, but it's just the coaching community is close. Todd and I talked before the game yesterday and just wanted to make sure we came out here, and for the one reason is just to support the people and the families. When
you hear it on the news, you hear about the accident, you know, you're anxious and you wonder what really happened. Now it's real. When you see the emotion that's present, you know, the sadness, but also the joy. There's some joy that's involved in it right now for some families, and it becomes real. It hits home. You begin to think about your family.
Not only did they bring themselves here to visit the victims as well as their families and extended families, but they also came bearing gifts, hats, T-shirts, sweat jackets, just anything to make these young men and their families feel a little bit better. Glenn Gulutzan saying that there were other coaches around the National Hockey League who have ties to Saskatchewan, like Jared Bednar of Colorado or Mike Babcock of Toronto, praising them and saying they wish that they could also be here. Todd McLellan talking about the fact that he has two young sons that have done extensive traveling in their respective sports. During a tragedy like this, there are no rivals, even though sometimes you might think that's the case between coaches from Calgary and Edmonton. Instead, it's all about healing. Gene Principe, Sportsnet, Saskatoon.